Hey, what's up guys? Rev here. Welcome to episode 500 of VTubers complaining about lollies while simultaneously having lolly hentai in their public Twitter likes. And today's example is a pretty extensive one, and it involves the Scottish VTuber named LoIi, who by all reasons is a big account with over 20k on Twitter and 50k on Twitch. And she, like many other VTubers, has made the mistake of consistently crying on main about lollies, treating them like they're real kids, calling people who like them degenerates who are sexualizing minors, saying that Rebecca isn't a lolly, and over the past few days, when confronted with the underage characters in her likes, she responded by saying that's different because those characters have adult bodies. And we're going to get into all that in a second, but how did we get here? Well, silly LoIi made the biggest mistake any VTuber could ever make while grandstanding about lollies, and that's have a link to their not safe for work account in their bio. And in her other posts, she recently said that lollicons are obsessed with her, stalking her every move, and finding, and I quote, adult-bodied characters in her likes to frame her. Well, she can rest assured that it only took me 5 minutes of scrolling through her likes to find all of the screenshots in this video, since a lot of them came from the past few days. And also, let the record show, she has pretty good taste. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was seeing some stuff and I was like, yo, same. But like, also the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff, like, I could have gone without that nightmare fuel, but at the end of the day, it was filled with lollies and other underage characters. And since there's so much, I think we need to separate it into separate categories. So first category, who else but Rebecca from Cyberpunk? Now, this is an interesting one. We've had a lot of discussion about this on the channel. Rebecca, by all definition, is a lolly, despite her age, because age has nothing to do with the definition of lolly. It's a body type and an aesthetic. And if you don't believe me, well, believe the producers of the show, CD Projekt Red, and the legendary anime studio Trigger, who both refer to her as a lolly character. But you know what? The coping about it has been pretty extensive on Twitter, so I'm going to give her a pass on this one, even though the characters look like lollies in the artwork she liked. But nonetheless, we'll give her a mulligan on this one. We'll move on to category number 2, which is her liking of Inklings, something she referred to in her other tweets as different than lollies. Can somebody tell me how this is different than lollies? And honestly, someone might point out the picture on the right and say, well, they have a large breast, that's different. Well, yeah, there's the thing called opie lollies too. And forgetting that, the image on the left, come on, that's a lolly. Okay, we all know this. But you know what? Let's suspend reality, okay? Let's not call that cunny. Let's call it octusy or something. You know, and after all, they don't have ages, I think, in Splatoon. So let's give her another mulligan, right? So now we move on to the third category, which is just straight up lolly hentai. And there was a lot of it, but some of it involved like OCs and things like that. But I wanted to include these characters because everyone knows who these characters are. That's one of her defenses over the past few days, is that, what is she supposed to know everything about every character she puts in her public Twitter likes? But everyone knows who Nezuko is, and you don't accidentally like a 2-minute long video of her getting railed where she's naked the entire video. That doesn't accidentally happen. And the other two examples from Pokemon, I believe that's May and Mallow, who are both like 10 and 12 years old. They're lolly characters, but I want to use the May art as a little bit of a transition because it has a little bit more of a mature body type, which leads us into the fourth category. They're not lollies, but they're underage characters. And I intentionally picked, again, the more recognizable ones that everyone knows are underage, or at very least, like high school age characters like Marin Kitagawa, Komi-san, Ryoko, Zero-Two, Chika. I even included Ina from LoIi because there's a debate of whether she's a lolly or not, but this little catch-all is for the one argument she's used in defense is, well, what I'm doing is different than, you know, lollicons because my characters have adult body types, despite being underage. So I would then ask, so is age just a number to you or something? Like, seriously, like, your underage characters in your likes are different because they have a more mature body type than the other underage characters that have a more petite body type? Is this the hill you're dying on? It seems enormously hypocritical. Either, when it comes to this subject, either lollies and underaged, more mature body type characters, both of them are not okay, or they're both okay. You can't pick and choose. You can certainly find lolly stuff disgusting and weird or whatever, but you can't act like you're morally superior because the underage characters you like have boobs. Basically, that's what it boils down to. And again, I don't know how you can pick one over the other. And for the final category, I thought I would just toss this in. Good old Shotokan. Nobody cares about Shotokan. I mean, you literally, no one even references Shotokan in their like moral grandstanding post. They only talk about lolicon. No one cares about Shotokan, but I thought I would just throw that in for the fun of it. But so let's wrap this up. I know it's a lot, but let's get some final thoughts. There's only two explanations for all this. Either she is a massive hypocrite, or she is just painfully oblivious to multiple mediums she's interested in. Personally, I think it's a little bit of a mix. It's some of both, a little bit of a hypocrite and oblivious. But I always like to make this clear, because we do a lot of these videos with the public Twitter likes and proving people are hypocrites. Do I think this person is bad? Do I think she's a bad person? No, I really don't. I just think they got caught up in this, probably what I would imagine is an echo chamber of people who share these kinds of ideas, coping. I mean, the kind of people who don't think Rebecca is a lolly are clearly going to have bad takes about lollies in general, right? It just kind of adds up. And you can tell the copium really blinds you when your main argument is, well, the underage characters I like are superior and morally better than your underage likes. So, yeah. But I will say this. If someone featured in a video like this takes offense to what I'm doing, I would like to remind them that 90% of this video and 90% of these styles of videos is me showing their tweets and then me showing their Twitter likes. And then the final 10% is my commentary, right? So ask yourself, what about that makes you upset? It's basically showing a mirror, okay? And in this process, as you can see, people like her set this unbelievably unreasonable standard for others, right? And by consequence, it's going to be applied back to yourself, where almost always you end up being a hypocrite. But I also think moments like this can be a learning lesson. I've done videos like this and people end up saying, yeah, you know what? You kind of open up my eyes. I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. And honestly, people respect you more in the end if you're just honest and say, yeah, I should be a little more open-minded to things. But again, as we close out, do not go to their account. Don't harass them. They're just an example of VTubers being cringe. I don't care if this was a 10-view Andy or Iron Mouse. It's someone being a hypocrite over the same pattern of behavior we've seen a dozen times before. It's nothing personal. It's just an example of people being hypocrites. But that's going to do for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you on the next episode of this same exact topic. See you next time, guys.